Happiness is a word we all chase, a feeling we often believe lies in the hands of others. How many times have you thought to yourself, "I'll be happy when I find the right person," or "I'll feel complete when she loves me the way I want to be loved"? It's easy to tie our emotions to external things, especially relationships. When someone validates us, appreciates us, or loves us, we feel uplifted, as if we've reached the peak of happiness. But when the inevitable happens, the first argument, the first sign of discontent, our emotional world begins to crumble. Why does this happen? Because we mistakenly believe that someone else has the power to control our happiness. We hand over the keys to our emotional state to another person, hoping they'll always treat us in ways that keep us content. This illusion is not only fragile, but dangerous. It leaves us vulnerable to disappointment and emotional chaos. The reality is that no one, not your partner, not your friends, not anyone outside of yourself, controls your happiness. This truth might feel difficult to accept, but it is also deeply liberating. Chapter 2. The conditioning of external validation. To understand why we so often let others dictate our emotional state, we need to look at how we're conditioned to seek external validation. From a young age, we're trained to look outward for our sense of worth. When we did something good, we were praised, and that praise made us feel happy. When we made mistakes or failed to meet others' expectations, we were criticized, and that criticism hurt. As we grow older, this conditioning becomes embedded in our relationships. We subconsciously seek partners, friends, or colleagues who will offer us the same external approval. When they do, we feel a sense of happiness. But when they don't, we feel as though we've lost something vital. It's as if our emotions are on a leash, held by others. This dynamic leads to dependency, depending on someone else's actions, words, or feelings to determine how we should feel about ourselves. The danger here is clear. If someone else holds that power, what happens when they don't act the way we want them to? What happens when they fail to meet our expectations? In these moments, we experience emotional volatility. We become reactive. Our mood rises and falls based on the behavior of someone else. We relinquish our personal control over our emotional state. But this isn't how it has to be. The Stoics teach us a better way. Chapter 3. The philosophy of Stoicism. Stoicism, an ancient philosophy founded by thinkers like Zeno, Seneca, and Epictetus, offers us a path to emotional freedom. At the core of Stoicism is a simple yet profound principle. Focus only on what you can control and let go of what you cannot. The Stoics understood that most of life is outside of our control. Other people's actions, the circumstances we find ourselves in, even the twists of fate. However, what we can always control are our thoughts, our judgments, and our responses to these external events. Imagine a relationship where, instead of being at the mercy of your partner's moods or actions, you maintain an inner equilibrium. Whether she praises you or criticizes you, whether she stays by your side or walks away, your inner peace remains untouched. This is not about emotional detachment in the sense of not caring. Rather, it's about emotional resilience. You can still love, deeply and fully, but your happiness is no longer dependent on how someone else treats you. It's cultivated within, and that makes it unshakable. Chapter 4. What you can and cannot control. Epictetus, one of the most renowned Stoic philosophers, taught a powerful lesson. Some things are within our control, and some things are not. This simple idea is the foundation of Stoic thought. The things you can control include your thoughts, your perceptions, your actions, and your decisions. These are the aspects of your life that you have complete authority over. But then, there's the realm of what you cannot control. Things like other people's opinions, their actions, external events, and even many of the outcomes of your own efforts. Most of life falls into this category. We can influence some things, sure, but control? That's an illusion. Consider this in the context of a relationship. You cannot control how someone feels about you. You cannot control how they act, whether they stay or leave, or even how they react to what you say or do. Yet, we often act as if we can control these things, becoming frustrated when they don't align with our desires. The Stoic solution is to let go of these illusions of control and instead focus on mastering your own mind and emotions. This shift allows you to reclaim your power. No longer are you at the mercy of external circumstances. Instead, you become the captain of your own ship. Chapter 5. The Trap of Expectation. One of the greatest causes of unhappiness in relationships is expectation. We expect others to act in ways that will make us happy. We expect our partners to behave according to our vision of love, loyalty, or care. And when they don't, we feel disappointed, hurt, or even betrayed. But Stoicism teaches that expectation is a form of attachment, a desire for the world and the people in it to behave in ways that align with our preferences. The Stoics knew that the more we cling to expectations, the more we set ourselves up for disappointment. This isn't because others are inherently unreliable, but because the world operates according to its own laws, not our personal desires. When you expect her to always make you happy, you place an impossible burden on both her and yourself. No one can live up to the expectations of being the sole provider of someone else's happiness. This is why it's critical to shift your focus inward. Happiness must be cultivated within you, not sought from others. Chapter 6. Emotional Freedom Through Acceptance. One of the most important Stoic practices is the art of acceptance, accepting both the good and the bad in life. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, famously said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Acceptance doesn't mean passivity. It doesn't mean that you don't care about what happens, or that you never strive for better outcomes. What it does mean is that you stop resisting the natural flow of life. You stop demanding that everything conforms to your desires. This includes your relationships. In relationships, acceptance allows you to love without attaching your happiness to the other person's actions. You can accept that they will have their own moods, their own struggles, and their own perspectives, none of which are within your control. You may wish for them to be happy, loving, or present, but you accept that these things are not guaranteed. And in accepting this reality, you free yourself from the emotional roller coaster that comes with trying to control the uncontrollable. Chapter 7. The Practice of Inner Control. So, how do you apply Stoic principles in everyday life, especially when emotions run high in a relationship? How do you practice this inner control? First, start with awareness. Pay attention to your emotional reactions. When you feel hurt, upset, or anxious, ask yourself, is this reaction based on something within my control, or am I reacting to something outside of my control? If the answer lies in someone else's actions, remind yourself that you cannot control what others do, but you can control how you perceive their behavior and how you choose to respond. Instead of letting their actions dictate your emotions, pause and reflect. Second, practice what the Stoics call premeditation of evils, or, in modern terms, mental preparation. Stoics often practiced imagining worst-case scenarios, not to dwell on negativity, but to prepare their minds to accept whatever life may bring. If you mentally prepare for challenges in your relationship, such as disagreements, distance, or unmet expectations, you can approach them with greater calm and resilience when they actually occur. Chapter 8. Building resilience and letting go. Resilience is the result of repeated practice in controlling your inner world. The more you practice focusing on what you can control, your thoughts, perceptions, and actions, the more resilient you become to life's inevitable fluctuations. But there's one final, essential element to emotional freedom, and that is the ability to let go. Let go of the need to control others. Let go of the expectation that someone else can or should make you happy. Let go of the attachment to outcomes you cannot dictate. When you release these illusions, you open yourself up to a deeper peace. This doesn't mean you stop caring about your relationships. On the contrary, you can care more deeply, but without the anxiety or fear that comes from trying to control the uncontrollable. You allow your relationships to be what they are, a partnership between two individuals, each with their own inner worlds, neither responsible for the other's happiness, but both able to share in mutual respect and growth. Chapter 9. The Stoic Path to Emotional Freedom. Ultimately, the Stoic secret to emotional freedom lies in understanding that your happiness is your responsibility. She doesn't control it, you do. By recognizing this truth, by focusing on what you can control and letting go of what you cannot, you reclaim your power. You step off the emotional roller coaster of dependency and into a state of inner calm, resilience, and true freedom. This is the essence of Stoic wisdom. It's not easy, and it requires constant practice, but it's the path to lasting peace, a peace that no one else, not even the person you love, can take away. And that, my friends, is the Stoic secret to emotional freedom. Conclusion: you control your happiness. At the end of the day, the key to emotional freedom is understanding that you are the one in control of your happiness. No one else holds that power, not even the person you love. By practicing the Stoic principles of focusing on what you can control, accepting what you cannot, and letting go of unrealistic expectations, you reclaim your inner peace. Now, if this message resonated with you, I encourage you to take a moment to reflect on how you can start applying these ideas in your own life. And if you're ready to take control of your happiness, drop a comment below with the words, "I control my happiness." If you enjoyed this video and want to dive deeper into Stoicism and emotional freedom, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of our future content. Thanks for watching, and remember, you control your happiness.